All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to take a whirlwind tour of Central America, that narrow bridge of land that's not just geographically vital, but also this incredible crossroads of culture, history, and nature. So let's start with a big question. What connects the Americas? And you might think, well, it's just land, right? But it's so much more than that. We're talking about a blend of cultures, economies, and entire ecosystems, all packed into this one narrow isthmus. Okay, so here's the textbook definition, but let's really break it down. Think about it. Central America isn't just a group of countries, it's the critical piece of land literally holding two massive continents together, all while having two of the world's great oceans washing up on its shores. And squeezed into this land bridge, we've got 7 totally distinct nations, and every single one has its own unique story. So our journey's going to take us through all of them, and we're going to kick things off in the north.
All right, first up, we're heading north, to a region really defined by its ancient history and some incredible natural wonders hiding just beneath the waves.
Our first stop is Belize, and right off the bat, this place stands out from its neighbors. Politically, it's a parliamentary democracy, which is a throwback to its British colonial history. And that history also explains why it's the only country in Central America where English is the official language. Its landscape is mostly flat, coastal, with a humid tropical climate, which kind of sets the stage perfectly for its most famous feature. But the real star of the show in Belize, well, you gotta look just offshore. We're talking about the Belize Barrier Reef. This isn't just a beautiful reef. It is the second largest reef system on the entire planet. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it's teeming with life, and it's a massive cornerstone of the country's identity and its economy. Okay, let's move west and we enter Guatemala, a presidential republic where the landscape just completely changes. I mean, we leave those flat coastal plains way behind for a super rugged interior that's all about the towering Sierra Madre mountain range and this whole chain of imposing volcanoes. These aren't just background scenery, you know? They are absolutely central to the country's character. And I'm not kidding, this landscape of fire and stone really does forge Guatemala's identity. The massive mountains and those active volcanoes, like the famous Volcán de Fuego, they don't just shape the view. They influence literally everything, from its incredibly rich soil for farming to its deep, ancient Mayan culture. Now, that volcanic landscape, it isn't just a Guatemala thing. It's actually part of a chain that runs right down the middle of the isthmus, almost like a backbone. So we can think of it as the volcanic spine of Central America. So our journey along this volcanic spine brings us next to Honduras. And like its neighbors, it's a presidential republic, it's got a mountainous interior, but its key physical trait is this really unique strategic advantage. It has access to not one, but 2 huge bodies of water. And that, right there, is the key. Access to 2 oceans. With these long coastlines on both the Caribbean Sea and the Pacific Ocean, Honduras has this amazing position that opens it up to completely different global trade routes and ecosystems. It's a feature that has profoundly shaped its entire history and economy. Now, what's really fascinating about this is how it shows the 2 different personalities of the entire region. The Pacific side is volcanic, part of the Ring of Fire, with mountainous terrain. But then you jump over to the Caribbean coast, and it's all about tropical lowlands and reefs. It's really a story of fire and water. Next up, we arrive in El Salvador. Now, it may be the smallest nation by area in Central America, but it is making global headlines for a pretty bold economic experiment. Geographically, it's anchored in that same Ring of Fire like its neighbors, but its real modern distinction is all about its currency. I mean, look closely. Alongside the US dollar, you'll see Bitcoin.
Yeah, this decision to recognize Bitcoin as legal tender was a huge deal. A bold, kind of controversial, and totally unprecedented leap into the future of finance. The idea was to make it easier for Salvadorans living abroad to send money home and to reduce reliance on the old-school banking systems. It's a fascinating, real-time economic experiment that has the whole world watching.
Continuing south, we reach Nicaragua, a country whose geography is also a tale of 2 dominant features. So while it shares those volcanic mountains with its neighbors, its landscape is equally defined by a series of vast freshwater lakes. And when we say vast, we mean it. Lake Nicaragua is so huge, it actually creates its own weather. It has hundreds of islands, including one formed by 2 volcanoes, and get this, it's even home to freshwater sharks. It's basically a true inland sea that is absolutely central to the country's identity. All right, for the final leg of our tour, we're heading south.
where the themes shift to just incredible biodiversity and one of the greatest feats of human engineering on the entire planet.
We now arrive in Costa Rica, a nation that's celebrated worldwide for two very distinct things: fostering a remarkably stable and peaceful democracy and preserving its mind-blowing biodiversity. I mean, despite its small size, it's home to roughly 5% of the world's species. That makes it a global leader in ecotourism.
And this single fact just captures the whole vibe of Costa Rica. The nation famously abolished its army way back in 1949 and chose to redirect its national budget towards stuff like education, healthcare, and environmental protection. It's a decision that's become a core part of its pura vida identity.
Our final stop, Panama, forms the physical connection to South America. And while it shares a lot of features with its neighbors, a mountainous interior, a tropical climate, its modern identity and its global significance are completely dominated by one single monumental work of engineering.
And that feature is, of course, the Panama Canal. This vital waterway didn't just connect two oceans, it fundamentally rewired global trade. It slashed travel times for ships by thousands of miles and cemented Panama's role as a critical hub in the world economy.
So let's just zoom out for a second. From the reefs of Belize all the way down to the Canal of Panama, we've seen just incredible diversity. Volcanoes, rainforests, two very different coasts, all packed into this small strip of land. It's a region of varied politics and, above all, a crucial global connection point. And that brings us to a final question. As a bridge between continents and a crossroads of global interests, Central America has always played a pivotal role. So the real question for the future isn't if this region will be important, but just how its vital role in our interconnected world will evolve.